Curiosity, it is one of the most simplest yet most powerful forces in the human spirit and in the human mind. From the moment that we are born, curiosity it drives us. It's reaching for the world with wide eyes and open hands, just trying to understand everything. And yet, as we grow older, many of us they lose touch with that. We trade curiosity for certainty, exploration, and most importantly, routine. Questions for answers we no longer challenge. But here's the truth: curiosity is the key to growing, to gaining wisdom, and to be truly alive. What is curiosity really? It's more than just asking a question. It is a mindset. It's a way how you approach the world. It says there's always more to learn. There's always more to see. There's always more to discover, both outside of me and within me. It's a spark that it drives every invention, every work of art, every scientific breakthrough, every act of courage. Without curiosity and without being curious, we would have never explored, have never pushed the boundaries. We would have never discovered what lies beyond being familiar with stuff. Think back to when you were a kid. Every corner of the world, it was fascinating to you. The simplest things, the color of the sky, the crawling of an insect, the sound of rain, it filled you with wonder. You didn't need a reason to be curious, you were just always curious. But somewhere along the way, um, curiosity gets trained out of us. Schools they teach us to memorize answers instead of asking new questions. Society it teaches us that it is safer to appear certain than to admit that we don't know. And slowly, the wonder and the curiosity it fades, but it doesn't have to. Curiosity begins with being humiliated, the willingness to admit that I don't know. That can feel uncomfortable and maybe even scary, but it is also liberating because the moment we say I don't know, we open ourselves to growing, we open ourselves to growth. Certainty it closes doors. Curiosity reopens those. Think about the most important and interesting people that you have met. They aren't the ones who claim to have all the answers. They're the ones who keep asking these questions. The ones who we are fascinated by, you know, maybe like life, by people, by possibilities. Their curiosity, it's contagious. Curiosity, it doesn't just expand knowledge; it expands relationships. When we are curious about others, their stories, their dreams, their perspective, we tend to build bridges of understanding. Instead of assuming, we ask. Instead of judging someone, we listen to them. Being curious allows us to see people not as a category, but as something unique, something complex. Um, Imagine how many conflicts in the world we could soften if we approach each other with curiosity instead of assumption. Curiosity is the empathy in action. Every act of being every act no, I'll say it like this. Every act of being creative is born out of curiosity. The artist wonders, what if I tried this color? You know, what if I tried this sound, this shape? Um, what if I test this pattern, this possibility? What if there's a better way? Being curious pushes us past the fear of failure because the joy is not just in the result, it is in the exploration. When we are curious, even mistakes they become something that you discover. Um, Curiosity isn't only about the world that is out there. It's also about the world within, the world within you. How often do you pause to ask yourself, why did I react this way? What do I truly want? What else could be possible for me? When you replace the self judgment with self curiosity, you open a door to healing. Instead of saying I'm broken or I'm wrong, curiosity it says that's interesting. Let me learn more about myself. This shift transforms the way we see our struggles. They stop being failures, and they start, becoming invitations to, grow as a person. Um, and to live with being curious is truly to live with wonder. It's You wake up every day asking, what might I discover today? It's looking at familiar things with, fresh eyes. It's You refuse to let the dull routine be your only possibility. The world is vast, it's mysterious. It's always changing, and so are you. Being curious, it keeps you alive. It keeps everyone alive, not just biologically, but spiritually. It fuels learning, growth, connection, and joy. Um, and it reminds us that, there's always more, and there's more to experience, more to love, and more to explore. Um, and I want you to, how do I say this? I want you to, claim or reclaim your curiosity. Ask yourself questions. Try new things. Listen deeply. Explore without needing to know where it will lead you. Let the curiosity guide you, both outward, into the world, and inward into yourself. Because the more curious you are, the richer life becomes. And I want you to remember, certainty makes us feel safe, but curiosity is truly what makes you feel alive.